So when do we get our life back? I remember when I had my first son back in 2020 of June. That first week, I can't count the number of times I asked that question. When do we get our life back? Both me and my wife, we love food. We love trying new restaurants. We love cooking at home. That's what we like to spend our money on. Is food, just food experiences. Um, and I hope that's something we can share with our kids as they grow up. Um, but when we had our first son, it was in the heart of the pandemic, and I remember we couldn't go out because all the restaurants were closed, and we ordered sushi that first week, and we couldn't eat at the dinner table. We had to eat on the coffee table with the baby sort of tucked on the side there, sleeping on a pillow. And the meal was hard to get through. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like every piece of sushi that we ate, and we had sushi, by the way, which is a popular meal after the wife delivers or gives birth, for obvious reasons. But as we were eating each piece of sushi, we weren't really enjoying the meal. We were eating so quietly. We were scared to make a move or a noise that would startle the baby. It was an uncomfortable meal, to say the least. You could see the baby stirring there on the couch as we sat on the ground, cross-legged, trying to enjoy our sushi. And yeah, at that point, we're like, when can we go back, right? When can we go back to those intimate dinners? Those chef's tables. Those nights, just enjoying a pizza on the town. That life seemed distant and far away, and we weren't sure if we could ever get that back. And as things slowly opened up, as restrictions slowly opened up after the pandemic, we started going on more date nights. And the first date night, we brought our baby, and again, the meal was tense, right? If you've ever gone to a restaurant with a baby, at least in the first week, we realized we had to rush through the meal. We had maybe an hour or an hour and a half max to consume the meal, and the baby woke up, and we were taking turns. You hold the baby, I eat, and then I eat, you hold the baby. And yeah, I remember one point I had to cut the steak for my wife because she was holding the baby, so she could only pick at the steak, and so I had to cut the meal for her, or cut up the pieces of meat. And yeah, we didn't have any deep conversation. It was just trying to we try to get a bit of our life back, right? This time with the baby. And we realized, yeah, those days of just getting a cocktail, sitting there for 3 hours, enjoying our meal, enjoying the bread course, getting dessert, and don't even think about dessert, right? Like we just try to get through our mains. And yeah, those intimate dinners, those date nights alone, the two of us, yeah, they were a distant memory. It was not until the baby got older where we started, leaving the baby at home with my mother-in-law, and we started going on more date nights. And yeah, for a moment there, we got our life back. And then we went on more date nights, and you know what? All we could think about was the baby. Funny enough, we ate with no distractions. We enjoyed our meal, but at least in the back of my mind, I just missed the baby. I missed the. I thought I wanted that old life back, but I sat there a little empty. I missed the chaos of it all. holding the baby in one hand and trying to enjoy my meal in the other hand. Yeah, it was just weird, And and now that we have 3 kids, I have a 5-year-old son, 3-year-old daughter, and 8-month-old daughter. I love going to dinner with them now, and it's a family of 5, and it's chaotic, and we usually have to order their meals ahead of time, so that their meals come first, and they're not hangry. But it's usually we have an hour max, right, to eat dinner, and it's chaotic, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And if I reflect back on that week 1, I wanted that old life back, right? I wanted just me and my wife. I wanted those fancy dinners and just the 2 of us and getting dressed up, and I thought I missed that. But when we got to go on a date night with just me and my wife, I thought to myself, wow, I miss the chaos of it all. Dinner just seems too easy, right? I'm not juggling 4 or 5 things at once, and I think I missed it. It took a while, but I think I enjoy meals now with everybody. Yeah, it's funny. Fatherhood, it adds new layers to your life that make you want your old life, and then once you sit in it for a while, you see the beauty in the new life. And in this situation, I saw the beauty in just it's chaotic, man. 3 kids at the dinner table, especially out at a restaurant. But it's fun, and it's my life today. And there's gonna come a moment where at least I can't have everybody at the dinner table anymore. I can't control, when my kids get older, I won't have as much control getting everybody together, and I think I'm gonna miss that. And so if the takeaway for you is, if you're in that first week, whatever it is, right, you might miss a certain aspect of your life. But all I would say is give it time. Give it some time. Because there's going to come a point where you hit that realization, like I did, where you don't want that old life back. Because that old life is boring. That old life had no complexity to it. It had no nuance to it. It had no uniqueness to it, right? Whereas the life with a baby, they're constantly changing, constantly growing, and you get to witness it firsthand every day. And so with that, why would you ever want to go back to that other life, right? Because I didn't. Yeah, so this is episode 8 of my, this concludes episode 8 of my week 1 series of Becoming a Dad. It's a series that I'm doing just currently on paternity leave, and just answering some questions that, I would ask myself back in week 1 as a dad of 3. The questions that you ask inside your head but are too afraid to ask the outside world. It's also a good chance for me to reminisce on that week 1 of fatherhood, and kind of go down memory lane and reminisce how it's changed me, and hopefully my experiences can help a new dad out there in week 1, because week 1 is generally the toughest. All right, so we got 2 more episodes in this week 1 series, and I'll see you in episode number 9.